This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, today we are going to see uh, the single sign-on in Salesforce. Okay, single sign-on Salesforce PDF, or you can go to this trailhead and complete this Salesforce trailhead. Let's go to trailhead unit as well. So this is single sign-on Salesforce trailhead. So either you can go with this one and configure single sign-on. Okay, so it is based on Federation ID. Can you see my screen on time, or is it lagging any behind? On time. Okay, so now we can see Federation ID here. So we can use Federation ID. So this is the Federation ID is one of the field in the user object. So if you go to user object, you can see Federation ID. So based on that Federation ID, we can implement the single sign-on. Okay. Yes, so for provider, identity provider, we have to create, and then we have to give all the required information in single sign-on. And then in the other arc, we can link with this Federation ID. The same Federation ID we have to maintain between the orgs, between different orgs, or between different Salesforce orgs. Okay, so it's simple. You have to follow all these steps, and then you can set up single sign-on. Okay, and at the end, you can take this challenge. I think this challenge is between Salesforce and Heroku. Anyway, what you can see here in this trailhead, you can simply execute the same. Okay, just follow the steps, and then you can able to complete this challenge. Okay, so before going with that, we'll go and see the why we need a single sign-on, right? Why we need single sign-on. Okay, let me log in into my Gmail first. right? So this is my Gmail account. I logged into my Gmail. Okay, so now I want to go with the Google Drive. Okay, just go to Google Drive and open this Google Drive here, the first link. Go to Google Drive. Now I'm into Google Drive here. Okay, and now if you look at here, it's taking automatically my user Google credentials, and it can able to log in into Google Drive. Right. So now let's go to YouTube. Right. So if I go to YouTube, so in YouTube also I can see it is logged in with my credentials. You can see my user here. So it is automatically taking my Google account, Google username password for YouTube as well. So I don't need to enter again my username password for Google Drive and YouTube. I just logged into my one of my app, one of the Google app. I logged in into Gmail, right? I logged into Gmail, and then I can able to access other applications with the same username password. How Google people taking my username password and can able to authenticate the other applications? This is one of the application, one of the example for single sign-on. So we will log in into one org only. Using those credentials, you can able to log in into other org, right? Suppose while you are signing up for any app or even in Google, in Salesforce also, while you are signing up or while you are going with the partner community or partner portal, sometimes it is asking like you want to sign up with your Facebook account or Twitter account, or you want to sign up with your email. Suppose if you choose like sign up with Facebook, click on Facebook and give your username password, automatically you can log in into your Salesforce account or any other application. So this is kind of single sign-on. That means we will use one R credentials, one application credentials. That will help us to log in into other application again without giving username password. Single sign-on across multiple applications. We have multiple applications, and by using a same username password, single username password, I want to log in into other applications as well, right? So for this we have single sign-on, not only in Salesforce, many technologies has the same concept, single sign-on, right? So we are going to implement that now. Partner community Salesforce. Let me see this. So here I can see So log in with our Salesforce credentials or log in with our Marketing Cloud credentials. Like this, you can see log in with our Facebook, log in with our Twitter. So if you click on these buttons as well with our existing username password, right? So we can able to log in into other application. That is called identity provider. Who is our identity provider? They will check your identity, they will authenticate, and then Salesforce also can allow to log in into your Salesforce account. Right? Single sign on. The meaning itself it is saying single sign on, right? So I'm covering this in integration, but yeah, it is not really integration or yes, simply we can connect two different dogs with the same uh, username password without logging into other application, right? Doesn't matter what username password you have in the other application. Doesn't matter if you log in into other one application, and then you can able to log in into second application with the same first application login credentials, right? So now we can go to this single sign-on implementation guide. Single sign-on SSO we are calling. Let's user access authorized network resources with one login. What is single sign-on? This is the meaning of the single sign-on. What does the single sign-on? Single sign-on lets users access authorized network resources with the one login. So I logged in into Gmail and I can able to access YouTube. I can able to access the Google Drive, right? The same way with one login, we can able to access the other resources or other applications without logging into multiple applications with the different credentials. So you validate username and passwords against your corporate user database or other client app rather than Salesforce managing separate passwords for each resource. Salesforce offers you the following ways to use SSO. As I told you, federated authentication using security assertion markup language. What is this one? Security assertion markup language. We are calling this one as a what? SAML. SAML. We have HTML, right? Text markup language. We got XML, right? Extensible markup language. Now in single sign-on, we have a markup language. It looks like our XML language only, XML only. It is called as SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language. Security Assertion Markup Language. So in SSO, in single sign-on, we are using SAML 2.0. We got OAuth 2.0, right? 2.0. Now we have SAML 2.0. We are using SAML 2.0 in Salesforce for single sign-on purpose, right? I'm repeating once again. We have single sign-on to authenticate different applications, different resources with say one login. There we are using SAML 2.0. SAML is nothing but security assertion markup language. Or you can go with LDAP, lightweight directory access. If it is set up in our organization, in our company, you can go with LDAP as well. Authentication providers let your users log in into your Salesforce org using their login credentials from an external service provider. Salesforce supports the OpenID Connect protocol, which lets user log in from any OpenID connect providers such as Google, PayPal, and LinkedIn. So if you done SSO with Google, so you can log in into your Salesforce account with your Google password and username directly. We have OpenID Connect protocol in Salesforce, so using that we can able to log in. Suppose I went to my company and then I logged in into my company network. The same network username password I want to log in into Salesforce as well. So you can able to do SSO so that you can able to log in into Salesforce the same username password. You don't need to log in into Salesforce again and again. Just with your network username password, you can able to log in into Salesforce. Automatically, it will authorize. Right. So benefits of SSO: single sign-on, reduced administrative costs, leverage existing investment, time saving. On average, users take 5 to 20 seconds to log in into an online app. It can take longer if they mistype their username or password and are prompted to re-enter them. With SSO in place, manually logging into Salesforce is avoided. These saved seconds reduce frustration and add up to increased productivity. Increased user adoption. One username, we can log into different applications without again and again entering the username password. Single sign-on. One time you enter username password and that will make you authenticate different applications. Single sign-on. So increased security. So we do have password policies, right? We do have this many characters and uppercase letter, special characters. So we can, set up only one username password and we can log in into other applications. So we can ensure, right? So we can follow corporate network and password policies, right? And then it will increase the security as well, right? These are the advantages if you go to single sign-on in Salesforce, right? So Salesforce identity uses the XML-based SAML, security assertion markup language, right? XML-based security assertion markup language for single sign-on into Salesforce. Okay. So first we have to establish a SAML identity provider. And then we have to create a connected app. And we have to create a connected app, the next step. And then we have to give start and logout URLs. And then we have to configure the single sign-on. So actually configuring single sign-on only uh, we have to take in Salesforce, right? So these steps could be done in the other application. Where is identity provider? There you have to configure these steps, and in Salesforce you have to configure this step. If you are doing Salesforce to Salesforce single sign-on, so these two steps should be configured in one app. Sorry, one org, one Salesforce org, and then this step should be configured in the other Salesforce org. Right? If you go with the single sign-on, and we have to enable this SAML in single sign-on, and of course these are the steps how to configure the single sign-on. Okay. So first we have to create an identity provider. Okay then. So we'll start creating single sign-on between two different Salesforce arcs. Now we will see that. So now let's log in into Salesforce. Okay. So now let's go to security controls. Under security controls, you can see single sign-on settings here. Open this single sign-on in new tab. Alright, so we have to enable SAML, and then we have to click on new button here, and then we can create single sign-on. Okay. Arjun, please send your Salesforce credentials so that I can do single sign-on between these two orgs. Okay. So these are the main steps we have to perform from external environments. Okay. But before we are doing uh, single sign-on between Salesforce to Salesforce, so I will make one Salesforce org as identity provider, and then I can implement single sign-on in the other Salesforce. Okay, so I'll make my Salesforce org as a identity provider. So if you go to security controls, there is an option called identity provider. Right, go to identity provider. Okay, I went to identity provider. I already created one identity provider here. So let me disable and create one more. Disable. I cannot delete it. It seems. I'll show you how to do it one more time. Enable identity provider. Okay, so while I'm enabling the identity provider, so we have to select the certificate. Okay, if you create any, we have created a couple of certificates. You can use them. Okay, so let me select the certificate which is created long back. Okay, so once you select that certificate, you can all these details will be populated. Okay, so this is my org, my Salesforce org, and this is a self-signed certificate I have chosen while I'm creating this identity provider. We are using identity provider, for configuring single sign-on. And then this is expiration date. And then see Salesforce identity. This is the URL. Right? This is the URL. We need it. Okay then. So now let me log in into other org. Okay, so let me log in into other org with different credentials from Internet Explorer. So I logged in Google Chrome with my user. Right? This is Google Chrome. And then I logged in as the different user from Internet Explorer. Okay. So now let's go to remote site settings and you have to register the endpoint URL, right? So where you can see remote site settings, that is the first step, So if two orgs should be, communicate in Salesforce, so we have to register that endpoint URL into remote site settings. Yeah, that's the basic step, already, right? Let's go to remote site settings and then click on new remote site. So let me give Salesforce or something, and then I need to register this here, then save it, right? So I have registered that URL into this remote site settings, right? So far it is clear, right? So I'm making one Salesforce ARG as identity provider, and then I'm implementing single sign-on in the other Salesforce ARG, simply. So with that Salesforce ARG credentials, I can log in into the other org, right? So now let's go to the single sign-on. So go to security controls again. Under security controls, you can see single sign-on. And then first we have to enable the single sign-on. So we have to check this checkbox. Right? So click on edit. And then enable it and save it. Okay. So I'm implementing single sign-on in Arjun's account. in Internet Explorer. Okay, you can see the difference, right? So this org in Internet Explorer, this is Internet Explorer window, and then this is Google Chrome. Okay, so now you can implement single sign-on settings here. So I can click on new button. So once I click on new button, so it is asking about all this information. Who is the issuer? So who is the issuer? So your first org. This is my org which I have logged in into Google Chrome. Right, so we have to give this URL here, here in the issuer, and then we have to provide the certificate again, and then we have to do all these things here manually. You have to fill everything here manually. So that if you click on new button, and then you can see new from metadata, new from metadata file, and then new from URL, new from metadata URL, right? New from metadata file and new from metadata URL. That means you can download metadata file of your identity provider, and then you can choose that here, and then you can get the metadata URL from your identity provider, and you can select that one here. Okay, so now if you go to first org, this is my Salesforce org. There you can see Salesforce identity here, right? So actually this is the URL for metadata. So copy this URL where you have implemented this identity provider. So copy this URL and then come here and then click on new from metadata URL, new from metadata URL, and then paste that metadata URL here. Alright, new from metadata URL and paste that metadata URL here. Okay, and then click on create. So once you click on create, it will create everything. We don't need to do everything manually here. So it will create everything. See here, it is creating everything. Alright, so it is taking name. The SAML version is 2.0. Issuer, alright, identity type. So it is taking everything here. Right, so self-signed certificate, it's selected here. So of course it is taking everything from that metadata URL without configuring everything manually. Right, I just copied this metadata URL and then I have given here in the single sign-on, so it is creating everything. If not, we have to give everything manually. So here SAML identity type by using user Salesforce as a name, or by using Salesforce user federation, federation ID field, right? So selecting this federation ID field is the excuse me, best practice. Right? Select the second option, that is federation ID. So please select that federation ID option, right? Okay, I'm going to show this once again. So click on cancel. I'm not saving it. So guys, please identify. So this URL, this is Arjun's account and this is my account. Okay, this URLs you have to identify these two, right? So I'm making this one as the identity provider and I'm implementing single sign-on here. Okay, you have to observe this and you have to just I put these two windows side by side so I won't make you confused. Okay, that's why I put here my account and here Arjun account. Okay, so now there are three options. I'm just doing once again. So if you look at here, new from metadata file and new from metadata URL. So that means you can create new. If you're clicking on new button, you have to do everything manually. So you have to enter everything manually. So if you're fine with that, you can go with the new. That is not very difficult, of course. Just click on new and give that here as a this Salesforce org use I mean URL, and then you can select this single sign-on identity provider certificate. So everything is same. So you don't need to worry about it. If you click on new also, you can do it very easily. Or you can download this one. See, download certificate. Sorry, download metadata here. Sorry. So you can download metadata file and then you can upload here in the metadata file. Or you can go with this metadata URL. So this is a metadata URL, SAML metadata URL. And if you're going with the third one, so you can copy this metadata URL and then you can paste it here and then it will create automatically that single sign-on settings. So I'm going with that third option. That means I have to copy this URL. Of course, this is the metadata URL, and then click on the third option that is called new from metadata URL. Click on the third option here, new from metadata URL. Right. So once I click on new from metadata URL, I'm getting only one field that is called metadata URL. So I have to paste that metadata URL here in that field. Right click, paste. Okay. Right click and paste here, and then click on create. Right. So once I click on create, of course it will get everything here. It will create everything here. We don't need to create manually everything. Right. So it is taking everything from that metadata URL, and make sure you select the identity type as federation ID, the second option. So this is best practice. So we are using federation ID on user object field. So we are using that while configuring SS4. This is the best practice. Okay. So remaining are fine. So I can leave this subject statement as it is. You don't need to do anything else. So you can see identity provider login URL. This is identity provider login URL here. Okay, and then simply click on save. So just uh, look at here identity provider login URL, and then this is a logout URL. Okay, if you want, you can copy them in any place. Later we need it. Okay, and then click on save at the bottom. I clicked on save at the bottom, and it has been saved here. Okay. So now you can see here. So this is a certificate, right? This is login URL, everything. So now we missed one more step. For we have to create connected app also here in our identity provider. We have to create a connected app also here in the identity provider. So if you go to identity provider, directly you can see here, see service providers are now connected via connected app. So click here. So it will take you directly to connected app option. I mean that page, or you know how to create a connected app, right? where you can see that connected app option. So while creating app, we have to go to create. Under create, we have apps. Go to apps. You can create normal apps, or you can create connected apps as well. Right? You can navigate to that place, or directly they are giving you that link here as well. See? So you can click on this link, and then you can create a connected app here. But we did not create this connected app, right? So actually, while we are creating identity provider, right? So I already created. That's why I could not able to show you this clearly. Just you can enable identity provider first, and then select your certificate, and then it will automatically create the identity provider. It is not very difficult actually. I already created and I disabled, but I could not able to delete it, right? So that's why. Anyway, I will show you at the end if you want in this art. Once everything is working fine. Okay. So now you can click on this here and create a new connected app. So open this link in new tab. Okay. So these are the connected app details we have to give. So this is my single sign-on connected app, right? And then email address I'm giving mine. So we are into identity provider org now. Okay. I just configured that here, the single sign-on in Arjun's org, and back to the my org, the identity provider org, IDP, identity provider, IDP org, right? And I'm creating connected app because I missed this step. I have to create connected app as well, right? If you want to communicate between two different orgs, why else we have to create a connected app, right? You know that already. We have created a couple of connected apps in our REST integration classes, right? You know how to create it. Okay. So you can upload the logo as well if you want. Upload logo image or choose one of our sample logos. So click on here. This is the logo here. Yes, there are some logos that are available. Let me copy that logo URL here, paste it, and then icon URL. So this is icon URL. Copy it. If my screen is lagging or if you could not see it clearly, let me know. Because I thought there is some problem, but as soon as you can, as long as you can see my screen without any disturbance, that's good. Okay, so I have chosen my logos as well and the icon and logo, and then now you can see. Normally, while you are doing REST integration, you are selecting this enable OAuth settings, right? Do you remember that? Huh? While we are doing REST integration, we are selecting this enable OAuth settings, right? But now we don't need to do it. What we need to do it? What we need to do? Enable SAML. What is the meaning of SAML? Not meaning, full form. ML, you know already ML, right? Markup language. HTML, hypertext markup language. XML, extensible markup language. So ML, you are good, right? So markup language. SA means security assertion. Security assertion markup language. We are using this in single sign-on. SAML 2.0, 2.0. So what we don't need to check this checkbox. So because we are creating this connected app for what purpose? For single sign-on purpose, right? For SSO, single sign-on SSO. We are using shortcuts from now, okay? So we are using this for SSO purpose, right? So now we have to enable the SAML. So we have to check this checkbox. Enable SAML. Right. So once you enable SAML, so now there are two mandatory fields came up here, right? So what is entity ID and ACS URL? Excuse me. So we have to provide entity ID and ACS URLs. Okay. So now, if you go your SS4, can you see any entity ID here? Copy this entity ID. With why I did not create the connector before for this only, right? So paste this entity ID here. Understand? So now we got the entity ID after we setting up the single server. Now I'm creating it, right? And ACS URL. Excuse me. So ACS URL is nothing but the login URL. So if you scroll down in this connected app, can you see here login URL? So this is nothing but the ACS URL, right? So now we can paste that ACS URL here, right? So now entity ID we got and ACS URL we have, right? So before also I can create connected app, but I won't get this information once I create single sign-on in the other org, then only I will get it, right? So ACS URL and entity ID. Okay then. So now let's go to the next one. Subject type, username or federation ID? Federation ID. So I'm repeating once again, federation ID is one of the field in the user object, right? I'm using here federation ID. Okay. So remaining ones, you don't need to change anything. And then you can see certificate. I have used this one, right? My self-signed certificate. I have used this one here. So if you look at here in this connected app, see here self-signed certificate 11 November 2017. So I have used this certificate, right? So now we have to select the same one here. So if you select the other one here, so by default it is saying default IDP certificate or something, right? If I select this one, you might not, connect to other ARC properly. It might give an error. So now whatever certificate we got here through that metadata URL, right? See here, saying self-signed certificate something. So I'm using the same certificate here as well. Okay, got it? Understand? Confusing? You should not, get confused here because it is very clear. I put these two windows side by side and I'm making it right. Okay, got it. And then you don't need to do anything else. You just simply click on save. I can give description. Login for single sign-on or something. And then just click on save. Right? So start URL is missing. Okay, that's fine. So entity ID we have given, and then ACS ID, ACS URL we have given, right? So okay, that's fine. So yeah, connected app also has been created, and then make sure the federation ID between these two orgs should be same, right? And then before we are going with that, let's click on manage. So once I click on manage, I can scroll down and then I can see profiles. So we have to add profiles to the connected app. So if not, you will get an error. So click on manage profiles. So make sure you can add system administrator profile. That is my profile. Okay. And I'm adding this profile as well. And then click on save. Right. I hit save button because we have to add the profiles to connected app. If not, you will get the error. Right. This is also done. I added profiles to this connected app. These two profiles I have been added. Okay. So what's next? Now let's go to the other org. That means Salesforce. I mean Arjun org. And then you know about the domain management and my domains. And Arjun has enabled like Arjun. This is the domain. Okay, let's go to my domain. And then you can see authentication configuration. So let's click on edit under this authentication configuration. Now you can see Rajnikant Dev edition, that is my Salesforce org. Not only from login page, from this org also you can able to log in. So you have to check this checkbox, authentication service. Not only from login page, I enable SS4. Now this option also came up here, right? So we have to select this checkbox also, and then click on save. If not, you cannot authenticate with my Salesforce org. Okay, click on save. Right? This step is also done. So I enable that option here. The second option also here, right? In the domain management. And then now let's go to that SAML, I mean single sign-on settings. And then you can click on the login URL. 1 second. So let me reload this page. Just give me 1 second. So I cannot see that option here. Okay, let's go to this login URL. Yeah, we're in the same org, right? So yeah, this is the one. So let's go to this one. So we got an error. So you don't have level of access necessary to perform this operation. Or I'll do one thing. Let's go to the connected app. So where is the connected app I created? So I have created connected app here, right? Yes, this is the place. Sorry. Yeah. So this is, I don't need to go here actually. So this is the connected app here. So go to this connected app and then see IDP identity provider initial login URL. So you can click on here. Once I click on here, you can see you don't have level of access to necessary to perform this operation, right? Please contact one of the record your administrator if necessary. I'm getting some error here. I'm getting this error. Once again, let me see. Okay, because the federation IDs are not same between the users, maybe. So that is a problem. Now we are getting this error. Let's go and check the federation IDs. Let's go to my user. You can see federation ID here. I'm giving federation ID as mahesh@sso.com for my user, and then save it. I copied it. Same way, let's go to the other org, go to users. I'll keep the same federation ID for one of the user in the other org. Let's go to this user. Then let's scroll down. Here is a federation ID. So let's give the same federation ID here. So using federation ID only we can identify, right? We selected that option here. Where we have selected, yeah, here you can see federation ID I have selected single sign. Okay. So now the federation IDs for these two users are same. Now let's go to this connected app again. And then I'll click on this button. So IDP initiated login URL, and we will see whether it is taking us to the dark or not. Okay. Click on here. It's doing something. And then if you look at here, it is taking to Arjun org. See, if you look at this URL clearly, so it is taking to Arjun org. So I can able to log in as Arjun here. Arjun. I can able to log in as Arjun here from my org without giving or without entering Arjun's username password. Got it? See, now I'm into Arjun org. I did not enter username password for this org here in Google Chrome. Simply, I clicked on this. Oh, there is connected app. Go to this connected app, and then I just clicked on this login URL. Where is that URL? Click on manage. Now just click on this URL, and then it will take you to Arjun's account. Right? So now let's go back to connected app, or you know this option, right? So if you go to app launcher, so if you go to app launcher here, you're already in app launcher. So click on app launcher here. Okay. So let me maximize this. So you can see different applications you can see from application drop down box. Let's go to sales application, and then you can see an application called app launcher, right? So if you click on this app launcher, you can see different apps. You can see as a tiles. So click on app launcher. So sales app, service app, marketing. So these are all the apps you can see here, right? Whatever apps you have created, you can see as tiles here. But I created one connected app. That connected app is not displaying here, right? So I created one connected app for that single sign-on purpose. That connected app is not displaying here because we did not give that start URL in that connected app. Okay, so go to the connected app, and then click on manage. So here start URL is missing, right? That's why that connected app is not displaying in the tab launcher. Right? So click on edit policies. Right? So simply copy this ACS URL and then paste it here in the start URL. Simply you can go to that ACS URL and copy this ACS URL to start URL and then save it. Now you can see this app also in the app launcher. The start URL was missing, that's why it is not showing in the app launcher. So now if you go to app launcher, so scroll down, you can see that app also now here. This is so connected app. Before it was not showing here because the start URL was missing. So now what I'm going to do, just click on this connected app. Now it should take you to Arjun account. Yes, if you look at the URL, it is taking you to Arjun Salesforce account and it is logged in. See, I did not enter Salesforce username password for Arjun account. All right. Just I clicked on this connected app, so it is automatically taking to Arjun account without entering the username password because there is identity provider in my org, right? So my org is acting like identity provider, and it is taking the same federation ID. It is checking the same federation ID is available or not. Yes, it is available, and then you can able to log in into Arjun's account, right? But make sure across the organizations you have the same federation ID. If federation ID is different, so you cannot able to log in. So this is about single sign-on. See, I logged in into my account and then I can able to log in into Arjun's account. From all my accounts now, again log in into Salesforce, my account only, not Arjun account. Okay, this is my account only, so you can see URLs clearly here where I am. You can see Rajnikant, that's me, that's my account. So go to App Launcher. see that app here, SSO connected app. Click on here. So look at the URLs. It's asking Arjun username password here. It should not, right? It should log in into this org. Why? What went wrong? Yeah. Once I click on there, you can see username password and also see or login using this Rajnikant dev or something. If you scroll down, so click on here. That's Rajnikant dev edition. That is my Salesforce org, right? So click on there. You don't need to enter username password. Now if you look at the URL, it is taking you to Arjun account. Yes, logged in. They enter any username password for Arjun account? No, it's automatically logged in. Right? This is about single sign-on. So we can do not only between Salesforce to Salesforce. If any other identity provider is also there, right? So we can use Facebook as identity provider. We can use Google as identity provider. We can use LinkedIn, Twitter as identity provider, and we can implement the same. Or if you have your company account like any LDAP servers or your company credentials, so your network credentials, you can use them also to log in into Salesforce accounts. Understand? So what all we have to do is, let's open my document. To maintain passwords across all the different applications, right? As a single one, so we can go with the single sign-on, and we can manage multiple applications as well. So we have to use the SAML settings. So currently Salesforce is using SAML 2.0 for doing the single sign-on, and then we have to create the identity provider. If Salesforce is the identity provider, so we have to provide Salesforce details. If uh, Salesforce is service provider, so you have to get that identity provider, and you have to create SSO here, and then we have to create what is the second one? Connected app in one org, and then we can go to the other org, and then there you have to create what? Single sign-on, right? So if you look at my example, these two I have done in my org, and then the third one I have done in where? Third one I have done in where? Arjun's org, right? So with my identity, I can able to log in into Arjun's org. By checking the federation ID on user object, if it is matching, we can able to log in. So before it was not matching, I made the same between these two users, right? The federation ID. After that, I can able to log in. Before it was giving another. Right. So I need these details from Arjun org while I'm creating single sign-on. So I have given those details in this connected app. And then identity provider details I have given in the, see how identity provider details I have given while creating the Arjun's single sign-on. Here we have metadata URL, right? I copied that metadata URL and I pasted here that metadata URL, and then single sign-on has been created in Arjun's org. And while creating a connected app, I got these details from the single sign-on, and I have created this connected app here. So there is communication between these two orgs, and one is acting like identity provider, IDP, and the second one is acting like what? Service provider. One is service provider and one is identity provider, right? So my org is working as identity provider, and Arjun is working as service provider here, right? It's very simple. So now, if you look at here, I created a connected app as well, right? And then I given start URL so that it is displaying in app launcher. Can you see my screen? Huh? Yeah. So click on this app launcher. You don't need to do anything. So just click on app launcher, and then this is the connected app. If you click on this connected app, so automatically you will log in into Arjun's. Anyway, I have logged in into one time. So it's going to log in into Arjun's. Maybe let's go to incognito. Let me log in from here. From incognito window. God. It is asking about verification code. Okay. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I can log in from here, log out from here. And again I will test. Go to app launcher. So go to this successful connected app. Okay, so now we can click on this successful connected app. So now login with different account or this Rajinikanth Dev edition. We can see this option here. So click on here. Now if you look at URL, so now it is taking you to Arjun's account without asking username and password. I set up single sign-on between these two orgs. Right? That's about today. And, in the next class, we will see uh, what is it called? Salesforce Connect. Salesforce Connect using external objects. External objects. Salesforce Connect. Okay, so if we done that Salesforce Connect, so we will be good with the integrations. That Salesforce Connect is also using for integration purpose only by using external objects. You'll get a concept called external objects. Okay, that we will cover in the next class, and then we will be good with the integration, and then we'll see the next part. Next, what is the topic? Okay, I hope the single sign-on is good. You understand everything clearly. Maybe you can play back the video and you can configure these. Okay, thanks a lot. We'll meet in the next class. Bye.